What's going on, everybody? Got another boot review today, and this is one that's been a while in the making. Not really too long, maybe a month or so, but something changed this week where I could I'll have a solid opinion of these boots, and I want to bring them out now. And these are the Georgia Wedge Mock Toe boots. That's the name of these boots. These are claimed to be a made in USA boot. It says made in USA with imported parts, so that's obviously not completely made in USA, but there's a lot to talk about with these boots. I bought these on sale and they still came out about $200. And I figured price tag of $200 for a USA made boot, that's gotta be pretty good. Carolina's come in the similar price. There's a few other brands. Thorogoods are a little bit more, but not too much. And Georgia Boots, a brand I've always associated with because it's just where I live. Georgia, people love Georgia boots, and growing up, I've always worn them. So I figured I need to get a pair of these USA made Georgia boots because, well, I don't know, it's just the Georgia thing. Even though these are not even made in Georgia, they are actually made in Ohio at Rocky's factory. And I'm noticing a few more things, actually, just sitting here looking at these boots, and we'll get to that here in a second. So, where do I even begin? These boots, like I said, price tag at or around $200. I've seen them as low as $160 online on sale, and as high as $215 in stores. Like I said, made in USA at Rocky's factory, and this is in Ohio. If you didn't know, Rocky Boots owns Georgia Boot, and Rocky is a huge corporation. So, obviously, just like any time any huge corporation has anything to do with it, there's corners that have been cost with this boot. Corners have been cut with this boot. At least I feel. I'm going to start with the thing that bugs me the most on these boots, and that is the tongue. If you can see these two boots right here, you can see that this left boot, the tongue tilts to the side. At the end of the day, when I'm wearing these boots, if I wear them for more than 30 minutes straight, I can have the tongue cranked all the way over here, and within 30 minutes, the tongue will be over here, and the very corner of the tongue will be digging into my shin. That is not comfortable, especially when you're on your feet and in these boots 10-12 hours a day. Georgia Boot claims this is the most comfortable work boot. No, when this is digging into your leg, it's all you can think about. 2 or 3 times an hour when you're having to stop, readjust the lacing, and fix the tongue, and it just goes right back to how you didn't want it. No, that's not right. I changed the laces on the boots. The laces that come on the boot are not very spectacular themselves. They're kind of this loose lacing. It's weird. They're thick. They're super thick. I put just almost like a standard boot lace on here. Similar to paracord, but in the way it feels, but obviously it's not 550 cord, just in the style of it. That didn't work, so I took it to a cobbler, and I had them add these loops on the tongue of both boots, which I was hoping when I laced the boot up, this loop would help keep the boot centered. And the cobbler did a really good job on this. The leather is matched decently, and I'm not faulting the cobbler. I think it's just the way the boots are made, because I've seen pictures on Marketplace and a few other places reviewing these boots or selling these boots, and all the tongues of these boots are canted to, especially on the left boot. It's never the right boot. It's always the left boot. The tongues are messed up. Other Georgia lace-ups I've had in the past did the same thing, but they didn't bug me like this one did. The way the tongue is made on this boot, it makes it almost unwearable for me. They say it's a pigskin lined tongue, which I'm not a fan of. This The tongue doesn't need to be so thick on a boot like this. All the other traditional mock toe boots, it's usually just a flat piece of leather, and it sits on your leg so much better than this does. It just feels like the right and left boot aren't made the same. Like, I could lace this boot up 20 different ways, and I could never get the boots to feel the same on my legs. My Thorogoods, I have 2 pairs of Thorogoods, and every boot, every time, I can always have it laced up and comfortable on my legs. Another thing, let's see, was it this? Yep, no, that's the right boot right here. As you can see, the welt has this little ridge in it, and you can feel it when you walk. It's not super comfortable, and that just looks ugly compared to the other side. Cleaner welt, and it just doesn't feel good. Maybe the one advantage I found these have over Thorogoods or Carolinas or whites, and when I say the whites, I'm talking about the Perry, is the stitching down here. That can kind of maybe separate keep the boot from separating from the sole. That's maybe the only advantage I've found. The leather feels cheap as well. You can see the grain, it's full grain, but the texture seems to be embossed onto the boot, and it also has a pebbled finish. It looks cheap. At first I didn't mind it, but the more I looked at it, the more it looks cheap. Like they're trying to hide a lower quality of leather on these boots. And the leather, it feels sufficiently thick, but maybe not as thick as a Thorogood. Maybe this is 1.8, 2 millimeters thick, something like that. I don't have a caliper to check, so I couldn't tell you. The loop on these boots do work fine. I'm not a fan of the speed hooks on these boots. The way they're made, they're big and they're rounded, and sometimes, a lot of the time when I pull the laces tight, it will slip off of the speed hook, and that's just not good. The toe, the mock toe, is very wide, and it is a very tall boot. At first, I didn't notice it. Again, the more I wear it, the more I notice this. When people talk about mock toe boots looking like clown shoes, these do look like clown shoes after you wear them for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and bring out what you should buy instead and use this as a point of comparison from now on. Let me fix the laces. Thorogood is what I would recommend buying instead. I've had these not even a week, and these feel far superior to these Georgia boots. But you can see that the Georgia is indeed taller. It is all around a bulkier boot, but feels less quality. You can just pick up the two, and you can tell there's a difference. You can tell this is made by a big corporation looking to boost profit margins and to pander to maybe a market that looks to see in USA made or more USA made style boots. I guess you could call these boots a gimmick. Georgia really dropped the ball on them, or Rocky. I've had many pairs of Rocky and Georgia boots over the years, and they've all been the Chinese made ones, and they feel so much more well made than these USA made ones. I guess you could say one good thing is the stitching on the upper right here is quadruple stitched, where on the Thorogoods it's triple stitched, but I'd be willing to bet there's not much of a benefit to that. Overall, I guess wouldn't recommend this. And I will say, let me add this in too. I contacted Georgia Boot and had thought about kind of sending in for warranty, and they said they would warranty the boot. But if you go on a lot of their comments and threads, I don't know if the comments get cleansed, but you'll see people saying, why don't you have these boots in X size? Still waiting on warranty X amount of weeks later. No, I'd rather just cut my losses and sell the boots for somebody else that might could wear them for a loss and lose money than waiting and dealing with crappy customer service. And like I said, the left boot, on all the pictures I've seen of these, all the left boots have the messed up tongue. Nope, not willing to deal with it. I made a mistake. I wasted the money on these boots. In my opinion, like I said, and this is all my opinion, I should have just bought Thorogoods to begin with. And these are the most comfortable boots. This is the 6-inch Heritage Mock Toe and Crazy Horse leather. The colors are kind of similar. The only difference is that this is the SPR leather Georgia has. It is triple tanned. It's oil tanned. So it's a little more soft and supple. But that's about the only... It's soft. These boots do not feel good on the feet, or at least my feet. It's a softer leather, but yet I've had these boots for a month. I can never wear them more than a few hours at a time. And it's just not good. It's so uncomfortable. After a month wearing them on and off, days at work, walking around, and I'm not super hard on them. I work on grading construction sites. Not super abusive on boots, but I'm not just sitting in an office either. I'm walking around on dirt, rock, getting up and down from equipment. Nothing too hard, but something like this, that should not be hurting my feet. Just after a month. These boots just won't break in. They don't feel cut the same. I don't know, the tongue sucks. I'm not a fan of the speed laces. The fit and finish is not spectacular. Instead of spending $200 and being disappointed, go ahead and save 30, 40 more bucks and get the Thorogoods. You can get them in 4 different leather colors. You can get the tobacco, you can get the Crazy Horse, you can get the Midnight series. They're the all black boot. You can get the ones in Briar Pit Stop, which is what I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing the 8-inch Briar Pit Stops that I've reviewed before. Those are comfortable boots. You can see kind of a difference right here. How much bulkier this boot is. Yet it feels smaller on my foot than this. This feels like a leather sock. This is something I want to wear every day to work. This is crap. At least for my feet. These are both 11 wides. The Thorogoods are a little bit longer. These may be a little bit wider, but it still feels like my foot's being compressed more than these. I just hate to see companies bragging about USA made and selling a subpar product. You can feel that these are just not made as well as these. These, you can tell, are made with pride, and Thorogood really does make a product they stand behind. Rocky, they produce to the masses, and they're trying to sell you something that I'm just glad to have these over these. I really tried to make these boots work. And you can go on their website. They only have 7.5 and 14 available right now. No telling when they would get these other boots. So there's no telling when I would get them replaced. So buy Thorogoods. Buy a product you know that the company's going to stand behind. But more than likely, you're not going to have them replaced. And it's just nice full grain leather. This is a veg tan leather versus this SPR leather that's pebbled and embossed with fake uniform texture. At least it looks fake. If it's not, I'd be surprised, but it feels cheap. You can scratch it and you see the marks, but the soles feel about the same. I'll give it that. The Thorogoods definitely feel a little bit harder. Both of these are proprietary soles. This is the Maxwear Edge sole by Thorogood, and this is just a generic oil slip resistant dual poly wedge by Georgia Boot. Feels maybe a little bit softer, but they'd probably wear about the same. I said the only advantage on the Georgia is the stitching at the toe. Maybe keep from a little separation. But other than that, the fit and finish, the way the boots are cut, the uppers are just super uncomfortable on these. These just feel like they're made to work in, made for your foot. Don't buy these. Don't waste your money. If you want to spend $200 on a pair of mock toe boots, get Carolinas. I hear from videos I've seen of them being cut in half, they're very similar to Thorogoods. Very little compromise to bring it down that inkling of a price. I've even seen Rock Roosters are half decent. I haven't tried those out. You could even, I'd be willing to bet Thursday boots are more comfortable than these. Just don't buy these. I said, shout out to Georgia Boots. Thank you for at least trying to make it right. But seeing at all the bad things about people not getting their boots back forever, or just seeing the left tongue being messed up on every example I've seen. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm sure I'll get criticized for that. Besides, I've already broken the warranty on these boots because I was willing to gamble on something that I thought would work versus taking a shot in the dark going through Georgia Boot. I kind of tainted that anyways because I said something about reviewing them like I'm doing right now. That would have just tainted the review. So that's a misstep on my part. But I'd almost be willing to bet any example of these boots that you get are going to have a lot of the same problems that I'm having with them. Like inconsistent cut, the soles being uneven, and you can feel it when you walk. Other than that, Georgia Boot's an okay brand, but I probably wouldn't buy any more of the USA made ones, and that's pretty bad. Stick with some of the more Chinese boots they make. I believe they're made in China. But if you just want to spend $200, go ahead and save up more, just a few dollars more. If you can spend $200, you can spend $240 on some boots and get Thorogoods. If you want to save up more, get Red Wings or Whites. Just buy something that you know has a reputation of being well made and being backed by who it's made by. But thank you. See y'all in the next video. Have a good one.